Muted. Oh, for God's sake. Well, do you know what? Welcome back in typical book club fashion of me being muted. Welcome back. Welcome back. I was just saying, I'm really sorry that the gap ended up being even longer with the mute. It turns out even longer than I'd anticipated it being. I ended up picking up a gig on Thursday night, and then Friday. I got really ill and it was so horrible, and I was so gutted because I managed to get one tour date into the diary for this year, and then I think I'd overestimated what I was able to do last week, having like been on Zoom and working from home for months. There was just, I think I got to Friday and I flattened. I just fell flat on my face. And then because of the whole COVID thing, I sort of got into this paranoia that like, if I feel even remotely ill, I shouldn't go and do the show. Anyway, thank you for your lovely words about Month of the Week. Artworld, I'm really happy to hear that your son is on the mend. That's great. I'm glad that you guys liked Mock. It was a really strange experience for me watching it back, because obviously the recording of it is like 3 hours. And then so when I watched the condensed to 29 minutes version, I was like, oh, they just cut most of my stuff. They must have hated me. But no, it seems like people have liked it. So fingers crossed to be doing that bit again. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. Yeah. It was really fun and everybody was so nice. Do you know what? That was the best thing about it, was that absolutely everybody on the show was so lovely. And I felt like while we were filming it, Dara I felt like anyway, went out of his way to make sure he was like turning to look at me so I would have a chance to chip in and say stuff. So it was really, really, really lovely. Thank you. I was so happy that the Townie Buggers line made the edit, because I was really hoping for that. I was really hoping for a bit of a representation of people that live outside of cities. So that my week has been crazy and busy, and I was so nervous. I don't think I realized until after Tuesday. Tuesday was when we filmed Mock. It wasn't until Wednesday, and I woke up realizing that was off my to-do list and sort of went, oh, cool. I hadn't realized how stressed I was about that until afterwards. And then yesterday I got back and sort of sat down and sorted the house out and sorted out a load of bits and pieces. Hi, Barbara. And just got sorted, and I wrote the chapter. I read through all of your comments on what should happen in this chapter, and I got the gist of what you wanted, and I have produced a chapter based on that. And then, yes, we'll get into tomorrow. Tomorrow is okay, isn't it? I think I can do every night this week, because what I think we might need to do is potentially wrap this story up by Friday. So I think we'll do every night this week. And then we'll get done by like Saturday, because I need some time to really sit down and properly write whatever we're going to do on Christmas Eve. So I think we'll aim to find out what happens to Kate this week. And then, yes, I'll have some time to write whatever we're going to do on Christmas Eve, because I've been thinking a lot about Christmas Eve, and I was thinking somebody suggested doing Emma's wedding to Jack, and while I think that that's a really lovely idea, I was thinking it would be nice to do something that was inclusive for other people, because I know Christmas, especially this year, is not going to be what people are expecting, and some people struggle with it at the best of times. So I'd really like it to be as welcoming as possible to as many people as possible. So I think we will do something standalone and Christmassy. It'll obviously be nonsense drama, and I'll see what I can do in terms of audience participation. But I think like I'll put all of the Emma/Kate and Emma-Kate crossover, potentially two of the most disastrous people in the world, a crossover. I'll put them all on the back burner, and we'll see what we can do with that. But yeah, it'd be nice to be able to say to people, look, if you're dreading Christmas or struggling with the idea of it, or you just need to escape for half an hour, come and do something a little bit different. And And Kate was Jack's dog Neil. Ha 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 ha. Oh, you guys finding my bloody typos in the in the clubmisters as well. I can't believe I forgot that they were having beef and changed it into a turkey. Oh lordy, too many things. Trying to write too many things at once. Why do I do it to myself? Right. So now Kate has missed her flight to Amsterdam. That's where we were. So here we go, chapter 18. Oh, thank you, Jenny. I was worried about day 12 because when I was writing them all, I was like, it feels right to have something that's a little bit with an emotion in there. And, obviously with my history and not being able to have kids, I quite like doing a nod to that. And then I was like, oh no, if people stumble across this one without having seen the other ones, they're just going to think that this is the saddest, most depressing book in the world. So I'm glad that people that had watched them all felt like it was the right thing to do. Anyway. Oh, don't cry. I don't want you all to cry. Okay, right. Welsh accent. That's what we need for right now, though, isn't it? Day 18. So, yes, Kate missed the flight to Amsterdam. Polly's face was thunderous as Kate approached her at the plastic table. Polly had been killing time nursing an overpriced coffee at one of the outlets in the arrivals lounge. Kate looked down at her feet as she approached and slid into an empty seat. I'm sorry, Paul, she started, trying to let it come out naturally so that Polly wouldn't be able to hear too clearly all the rehearsing she had been doing on the plane. Save it, Kate, said Polly tiredly. I don't want to hear it. Kate stopped talking and sat in silence, listening to the bustle of the airport over the ringing in her ears. She hated upsetting anybody, let alone Polly, who had always been so good to her and scraped her out of so many jams. I forgot to put my phone on charge, and Polly waved her hand with an irritable tiredness to get Kate to stop talking again. I mean it, Kate. I don't think there's an excuse you could give me that I haven't heard from you before. We were supposed to be coming away here so I could get some time to think and have some fun. This was supposed to be about me, and somehow it's about you, like everything always is. I needed a sister, not a fifth child this week. No wonder I'm too exhausted to have a straight conversation with my husband. Kate was stunned. What do you mean everything's always about me? Kate thought she blended into the background most of the time. She felt like she just scurried along in the wake of everyone else's lives. She didn't organize things or command people. What was Polly talking about? You always manage to have a drama. Something goes wrong and you need help all the time. It's exhausting. Kate noticed with a sickening astonishment that Polly was crying. Kate felt the world scooping and crumbling about her. These truths felt like they were flying out of pitch blackness and hitting her hard in the face. I didn't know, she said, feeling tiny. No, well, of course you didn't know. You're too sweet to want to hurt by telling you, aren't you? You're fragile and delicate, and I'm supposed to look after you, but I've let you bumble along for so long now that I'm worried I've broken you. I'm not your responsibility, Kate said, not sure if she was trying to defend herself or Polly. I know, but also, you are though, aren't you? You're not, but you are. I've watched you boil your life down to pretty much nothing except a job that you hate and a shopping habit that I've just let you do. I started it because I didn't know what else to do after Mum and Dad died, and then it just got harder and harder to call you on it. And now you're this. You can't get on a plane. You forget to come to a book club that you organised us going to. You skip work most of the time. You owe so much money. I don't even know how we'd ever pay it all back. And if I call you out on it, I'm an asshole because you don't have anyone else in your life. Polly ran out of steam and slumped into her chair with tears streaming down her face. And now, here we are on a trip that was supposed to be about me getting my head together and thinking about me and Ryan and our children, and we're going to be reeling from everything I've said now and piecing you back together. I love you, Kate. I love you so much, but you accidentally make everything about you by never trying to make it about anyone else. Kate didn't cry. She was surprised she didn't cry, but she felt numb. Her muscles felt like Play-Doh, and she wasn't sure she could move without creaking. Her senses were alert, and someone had turned the volume up on the airport. Polly sat in front of her, sniffing and weeping and sipping coffee, trying to pull herself together. Kate's mouth was dry. Polly had laid it all out. All the worst, most rotten parts of Kate's life just lay on the table between them, and Kate stared at the entrails. She expected to feel gutted and broken and naked at the thought of Polly articulating all the worst aspects of her life in the way she had, but instead, she felt oddly lightened by it. It felt somehow freeing to have all these shameful, complicated, difficult parts of herself seen by someone else. She didn't have to reveal it or admit it or try and explain why she wasn't very happy in spite of things seeming normal on the surface. Things didn't apparently seem normal on the surface. Kate smiled. Polly, I'm so sorry I missed that flight. I didn't know I was such a weight on you. Well, you're not a weight. Oh, God, Katie, you're my sister. Tears poured anew down Polly's face. No, Polly, I have been. I didn't think I was, because I didn't know you were seeing all that. I just thought I was bumbling along. I didn't realize you were so worried about all the things I was worried about. I don't know what I'm doing in my life, but I just thought if I carried on living it, then things would fall into place. I try every now and again, but not very hard. I went on a date a few weeks ago. Polly's head snapped up. You what? With who? Ewan? Kate laughed. No, not Ewan. A guy I met on an app. Graham. Why didn't you tell me? Because it was rubbish and it's not going anywhere, and you and Ryan are so perfect and have it all, and we're not that perfect. I'm sitting in an arrivals lounge crying because he wants to have another baby. Well, I can fix part of that. Come on. Kate stood up briskly. Where are we going? Polly looked surprised. We're going to a bar, said Kate, aware that this might be the first time in either of their lives that she had been the one to take control. There you go. So, Kate and Polly are going to a bar to have their first night in Amsterdam. Where do you want them to go? That is your question. Do they go to a cocktail bar, a sushi bar, a nightclub, or I've called it a tavern type bar, but like a sort of traditional pub type bar, I suppose is that option. You know what I mean. So cocktail bar, sushi bar, nightclub. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Is there another one? No, we're okay. Yes. So cocktail bar, sushi bar, nightclub, or like a tavern type bar. Oh, tickly nose all of a sudden. You decide, and I shall see you back here tomorrow at 10 p.m. For the next installment. But it's so lovely to be back. It's great to see you all. I'm happy to catch up with you all, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.